Namaskar friends, this is NJ, your host on this channel. In this video, we will have our discussion on one of the most sought after Raj Yoga in Vedic astrology, which is the Panch-Mahapurush Yoga. So we will have our discussion on this yoga, but with a twist. So you will learn this yoga today through seeing its effects, its formation in your palm. So we will understand and learn this yoga through palmistry. So guys, because ever since I'm back here, I have now got access to all of my old palmistry books which I left here at the time when I was doing my course of palmistry 6-7 years back before moving to Canada. So I just came across this very good book written by Sri Narayan Dutt Sri Maliji. So even if you are a palmistry enthusiast, this book has to be in your bookshelf. So I just stumbled upon this yoga and I thought, okay, we can have a discussion on my channel on understanding the formation, efficacy of this yoga, both from astrology and palmistry. So guys, for all those people who are new to astrology or palmistry, you have not heard about this name before, so let me explain it to you. This word Panch in itself can be translated in English as the 5. So that means there are like 5 planets which in a specific alignment give rise to this yoga. In this yoga, out of those 5 planets, Rahu, Ketu, Sun and Moon do not form this yoga. So excluding these 4 planets, remaining planets Saturn, Mars, Jupiter, Mercury and Venus, they form this yoga. The eligibility of this yoga is very simple. In your astrological chart, the houses which can contribute towards this yoga are your Kendra Bhava, your angular houses, 1st house, 4th house, 7th house and the 10th house. And if you will find these aforementioned planets either placed in their own zodiac sign or exalted in any of these 4 houses, then they contribute towards this so-called Panch-Mahapurush Yoga, which we will soon learn. Now guys, when we talk about why angular houses, okay, planet in a dignity, in a strengthened state is fine, but why only the angular houses? Why not the Trikona Sthana? We always hear this thing that the angular houses are so important. So guys, understand this thing that when we talk about the efficacy or importance of this yoga, it has got more to do with where you have this capacity to build something out of your own self-initiated efforts. See, when we talk about Trikonas, their strengthened state or their afflicted state, somehow destiny comes into picture over there. Your Purv Janma Karma, past karma, earned merits somehow comes in the picture over there. But when we talk about the angular houses, definitely it's your own capacity to do something very substantial or lay foundation to something very big. Along with that guys, see, 1st house is something which is going to be a common loop between both the like we talk about trine houses or the angular houses, but the remaining like 4th house, 7th house and 10th house, their symmetry becomes so important. Like the way whenever we talk about something to do in the public domain, like 4th house has to be in a strengthened state, 10th house is your actual public image, all the important prominent people are in the 10th house, and 7th house is the 10th from the 10th and 4th from the 4th. That means not only your public image, your deeper committed relationship, how public perceive you. So 7th house also becomes very important. So for you to have that visibility in the world, somehow these houses are very important. And also guys, like when we talk about someone who has like even at 30s or 40s, the person is still not stable. I'm not talking about me, in general I'm talking about that. So see, these houses only give you stability in the life. There is a old saying in Hindi, basic necessity of life, roti, kapda, makan, like food, clothes and a shelter. So that aspect is also somehow connected with the angular houses as well. So how much strong foundation or roots you're going to have in this life, your capacity to lay foundation to something very substantial, along with that your capacity to influence the public or the masses. Okay guys, now we will start picking up all the 5 planets and we will try to understand this yoga both from astrology and palmistry point of view. So let's first begin with the Guru Dev, which is the planet Jupiter. So if you will find that Jupiter in your natal chart is placed in 1st house, 4th house, 7th house or 10th house, and Jupiter is placed in its own sign, which is Sagittarius or Pisces, or it is exalted, which happen in the Cancer sign. This will give rise to the Hamsa Yoga. So when Jupiter forms this Panch-Mahapurush Yoga, it is called as the Hamsa Yoga. Now what are the features of it? So generally guys, this is a kind of a yoga where we say this thing that you might have good like wisdom in the life, you might have some sort of administrative power, the native will also enjoy reputation, recognition, prestige, honor, fame in the life, and most importantly, it's like we say this thing that in major undertakings of your life, somehow like we can say this thing that the right advice will come to you at a right time. Circumstances, omens will support you, help you in the right time. So this is how we can see the general attributes of this Hamsa Yoga. And in lot many cases, like specific to the Indian case studies and all, so lot many IAS officer and people who are in the top bureaucracy and all, they have been found with this yoga getting fulfilled in their natal chart. So now guys, when we talk about how to see that in someone's palm, so see guys, generally what happens is that in our palm, the domain of the planet Jupiter is the mount of the Jupiter just beneath your index finger. So if you will find that in any capacity, the mount of Jupiter is little bit protruded, like it is little bit swollen extra compared to the other counterpart, compared to the other mounts. Second thing is that presence of the spatial symbols over here, like if you will find a teacher's square, that is a good indication. You will find a cross over here, it is a very good sign. You will find a ring of Solomon, and if you will find that lifeline, there is a upward rising line called as the progress line, which is also making a connection with the mount of Jupiter. So then that can be seen as somehow equivalent to the Panch-Mahapurush Yoga of the Vedic astrology in your palm as well. So prominence of the Jupiter in the form of its mount, presence of special symbols, making a connection with the lifeline, a very strong index finger will indicate that. Now comes the second planet which can contribute to this Panch-Mahapurush Yoga, which becomes the, let's take the planet Venus. So guys, the name given to the one of the Panch-Mahapurush Yoga which Venus forms is called as the Malavya Yoga. So eligibility is the same. If you will find Venus to be placed in its own sign, which is Taurus, Libra, or Venus gets exalted in the Pisces. So if you will find Venus to be in either of these three signs, being placed in the first house, fourth house, seventh house, 10th house, then it will give rise to the Malavya Yoga. And guys, generally it has been seen that people who have got this Malavya Yoga, they tend to enjoy a very peaceful, comfortable, and a very strong possibility of living a luxurious life, of finding very supporting partner, because we know this thing that if Venus is going to be well placed in the first house, it is going to be giving aspect to the seventh house as well. So first and the seventh domain, people who you will come in contact with, you will have this capacity to form stronger, deeper connection or bonds with them. And if Venus is going to be well placed in the fourth house, you will definitely going to have a very loving heart, a very supporting family life, and capacity to enjoy luxury and amass good fortune. So guys, how to see this yoga in the palm? So that's very simple. Guys, you will see this thing that the mount of Venus is going to be very pinkish in color. It is going to be little bit soft, and it is going to be little bit exceptionally swollen in the hand of that person. You will not believe, because this is what I have been doing from past so many years. When a planet is in a strengthened state, you will see the conformation coming in from everywhere. Mount of Venus is going to be protruded. Person might be born on a 6th, 15th or 24th. The person might have a life path number to be 6. You'll get the confirmation from everywhere. But yes, generally what has been seen that people who have a Malavya Yoga in their chart, in their palm, you will see the mount of Venus to be pink, protruded, with the presence of very strong vertical lines. Here I am not talking about the Rahu Rekha, which are the horizontal lines which cut the lifeline and then spread around the palm. Here I am talking about the vertical lines, and along with that you will also find in slight cases the girdle of Venus as well. So again guys, I want to stand corrected. If girdle of Venus is found in a positive hand, where overall hand is very constructive, sattvic, positive, then that will definitely accentuate your emotions, but for the right causes, right reasons. Because this Laya Vesivia, via lascivia, and this griddle of Venus has got a bad rep as well, that it can take someone towards indulgences, but not every time it happened to be true. So yes, Mount of Venus with the presence of some special symbols and signs. Native might have a might have a symbol of Jupiter over here, some sort of specific Indian Hindu symbols. This could be a flag, this could be a trident, so those kind of square, triangle, so those signs on the Mount of Venus along with a prominent griddle of Venus might also give this indication. Now guys, after that, the third planet which will contribute to this Panch-Mahapurush yoga is the prince of the planetary council, which is the planet Mercury. The Panch-Mahapurush yoga which Mercury contributes is called as the Bhadra yoga. So guys, definitely eligibility is the same. If you will find Mercury to be placed in the Gemini and Virgo, don't wait for the third sign, it gets exalted in its own sign only. That is the reason I am telling you, if you do not know about it, take admission in the courses which I am offering. Just joking. So yes, if you will find Mercury to be placed in the Gemini or Virgo and placed in any of the angular houses, first house, fourth house, seventh house, 10th house, then it will fulfill the eligibility of the Bhadra yoga. So that is what we see from the astrological chart. Now what does it tell about? So definitely guys, it is going to make native very jovial, very adventurous, freedom lover. Native might have interest in lot many languages as well. Native might have got very good business acumen as well. Native might be able to do a lot of multitasking as well. We are living in a day and age where people are hustling into so many things at a time. Like someone is a realtor, someone is an astrologer, someone is an actor, all at the same time. So the person who is going to have a Bhadra yoga in the chart could be a very versatile person or a very multi-talented person as well. So guys, this is what the eligibility is from the astrology. Now how to see that in the chart? So guys, I mean to say in the palm. So that's very simple. You will see that the native is going to have a very prominent Mount of Mercury. So when I say prominent, native might have this portion to be little bit protruded, little bit swollen, and native will definitely have the presence of the prominent lines or symbols over there. Like for example, native might have a medical stigmata, which is considered as a very healing sign. Native might have a triangle over there, native might have a square over there, or native might have a very strong Mercury line on the palm as well. Along with that, you will find that this finger, little finger, might have little bit gap between the rest of the fingers from the ring finger. So this also tells about someone who's very independent when it comes down to taking actions. So little bit gap between these two fingers. Along with that, you also will find that the tip of this little finger might be little bit bent. So that all will give this indication that yes, Mercury is very prominent in the chart of the native. And in lot many cases, what I have seen that if this planet is contributing this sort of Raj Yoga in the astrological chart, same thing is going to be getting confirmed in the palmistry, in the palm of the native as well. After that guys, when we talk about the two ferocious planets, see, I'm just following my own chart. So I covered my 11th house. Now I knew that in the 8th house Mars and Saturn are left. So yes, now talking about the planet Mars. So if you will find that your Mars is placed in like the Panch-Mahapurush yoga which Mars forms is called as the Ruchak yoga. So the eligibility is the same. You will find Mars to be placed in the angular houses in your astrological chart. First house, 4th house, 7th house, 10th house, either placed in its own sign, Aries, Scorpio, or the sign of exaltation which is Capricorn. Then it will form this Ruchak yoga. So guys, generally it has been seen that it is a proven case study. I have seen that in lot many books written by Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan faculties and all. So that lot many people who worked as on a military position, IPS, Indian policing services and all. So in all these kind of services, people who are in very daring, very fearless kind of nature of job and all. Along with that guys, I would say this thing that people who are doing very good in the business of realty or land property related fields as well. So even in their charts, lot many times it has been seen that they have got a very strong Mars, or somehow, because here we are talking about what you did out of your own self-initiated efforts. You built an empire. Not only you safeguarded yourself, but also you kind of helped so many people and have that kind of lasting impression, image on the world as well. Like your capacity to influence the world with your daringness, with your boldness, with your youthfulness, with the support of the brotherhood and all. So this is how generally this yoga function in someone's life. Now if you have to see the eligibility of the same yoga, effect of this same yoga in someone's palm as well. So guys, that's very simple. On our palm, Mars has got the whole middle of the range of the palm is being allotted to the planet Mars. So you can say this thing that it is divided into three regions. Inner mount of Mars, close to the thumb region. We have the outer mount of Mars, outer periphery, outer towards the percussion side, and the middle section, which is called as the plane of the Mars. So you will find that someone who's going to have a Ruchak yoga in the astrological chart might have some strong symbols, and along with that native might also have a strong Mars line as well. So Mars line is something which you will find which runs parallel to your lifeline. So parallel to your lifeline is the Mars line, which acts as some sort of guardian angel, some sort of family ancestor supporting you, guarding you, looking after you. Along with that, on the inner mount of Mars, you will find some special symbols like a triangle over there, like a trident over there, like a flag over there. Same goes with, guys, see, the true innate qualities of the planet Mars generally manifest from the outer section. So over here, you will find this section to be little bit bulged coming out here. You will find some special symbols like like a symbol of triangle and all, which I have already mentioned. And on the middle section of the plane of the Mars, over here generally, because what I have seen is that people see, I will make it very clear, people who are getting benefited of this Ruchak yoga in a form of being known for their boldness and their daringness, they will have the prominence of the Mars strongly in the inner mount of Mars section, because this is the region of the aggression. Those who are doing good in the domain of the Mars in terms of building an empire in land, property, real estate and all, lot many assets and all, you will find the prominence in the form of the middle section of the palm. And lastly, those who are like when we say that because of your fortitude, some sensationalized journalism or something, where you have shown the daringness, boldness, but in some other form, not the physical aggression, not taking lives of someone or putting your life at stake, but in some other level and plane, on a mental plane, you have shown that fortitude. Then you will find the domain and the signs coming in from the outer Mars. After that, guys, and lastly is the planet Saturn. So even in the solar system, out of all the planets, Saturn is at the end. So is in my discussion as well, in my video as well. So the name which is given to the Panch-Mahapurush yoga formed by the planet Saturn is called as the Shash yoga. Eligibility is same. If you will find Saturn to be placed in the angular houses, first house, fourth house, seventh house, 10th house, being placed in its own sign, Capricorn, Aquarius, or the sign of its exaltation, which is a Libra. So then this will contribute towards this Shash yoga. So what kind of results native can expect? So generally, guys, many mass leaders have been seen with this kind of combination. I keep on coming across many charts where people say this thing, I'm born and raised in a very small town, small village, and I came from a very humble background. I did not have much to eat, or even I have faced a lot of difficulties even to pay for my basic education and all, and now this guy is in US, he is making good money, he has all the necessities in the life. Success came in the second half of life after only going through all sort of hardship and all. But this is how the Shash yoga function. So mass leader, people who rise from the basic humble background and create something very big in the life, so those sort of inspirational people generally are attached. That sort of inspirational life is generally seen from the Shash yoga. Now guys, how to see that in the palm? So that's very simple. In our palm, if you will see that on the Mount of Saturn, see, generally mount of Saturn compared to the other mounts is a flat mount. It is considered as a flat mount, so that means you have to give more points, even if it is slightly bulged. You have to give it additional points, like the way we say this thing that those families where kids, one of the kid which is not very bright, even if we pass on a borderline in his school exams, parents are still celebrating because they were not expecting much. So no, I should not be saying this thing for Saturn, but yes, when we talk about judging its quality, so the swollenness is something where you have to give it some additional points. Second thing is that you will definitely find some special symbols and something special happening beneath and under that mount of Saturn. Trust me guys, I'll give you a small reference. So there was this doctor, he out of the blue came to me, visited me when I was doing that mall activity, and initially he asked me because he saw that tarot board and hoarding. So what is happening here? I thought it's just a random guy, just mocking me or making fun or passing time. I just casually said, oh, it's just some readings and all. So he said, I have all the records of so many people who died of cancer. So what kind of combination they have had in their chart? I was like, okay, I'm listening. Please keep going. Then he told me that, okay, he is a doctor, a very in AIMS, in a very prestigious hospital, medical institute in India, very prestigious, very bright brain. So then somehow we got into conversation. He was, I guess, Libra. That is the reason I strike a good friendship with him. And then later on, so when he just asked me that, okay, I just want you to, I want to get a reading and all. So when I looked at his palm, so he had a very prominent kind of island on the headline, but through the course of the headline under the ring finger. So ring finger, which is the finger of the planet Sun. So, and because we have to age the line as well, he was like, I guess above 60 or 65. It was that age, and because it is happening in the headline, it means stress, depression, problem happening under the Sun finger, which has to do with the government. So then I said this thing that, okay, everything is fine, sir, in your hand, basis my superficial observation and all. But yes, there will be some problem with the government. And he like had the goosebumps, like, oh, how can you say that? I'm going through, that is what my pressing issue or concern right now, because of the stress the people connected with the government are putting on me, and XYZ, so many things he told me later on. So this is how. So the point which I'm saying here is that I've seen lot many palms and charts where people who have got a prominent Saturn, and you would not believe, like under the mount of Saturn, the region where the headline is crossing beneath it, or the heart line is crossing, but most over the headline, there is some, it is going like this, right? When it reaches under the mount of Saturn, it has a little bulge, like a bulge, like something is pulling it up, and then it is again passing in a normal pattern. So this is how minutely you have to observe the palm. So yes guys, native will definitely have something happening, we say in Hindi, some locha happening under the mount of Saturn on the lines. That is the first validation. Second thing is that native will definitely have a protruded mount of Saturn. Native might also have a very strong Saturn line, fate line or destiny line on the palm as well, and some presence of some special symbols on the mount of Saturn, like a triangle, like a trident, like a mystic cross. So all these are the symbols which will give more weightage, more prominence, and you can say this thing that, okay, it gives me this feeling that you might have a Shash Yoga in your natal astrological chart as well. Your Saturn seems to be very strong. And yes guys, even the finger I have seen to be little bit high set compared to the setting of the finger to be little bit high set, which give more height to the middle finger. So yes guys, this is something which I wanted to say in a very short video. For further more updates and notifications on the divine science of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on my Instagram account. Dhanyavad.